I will like introduce you guys with some of the new concepts, some of the things that is really hype in the market now. For the recent 2 years, there are like 3 things happening in the blockchain world that catches the eyes of like everybody. The first is DeFi, which is decentralized finance, which is like really like suitable for Davy. Bankers will definitely like it. Like Dr. JD also mentioned in the very beginning that like one single document must go through or like must be approved by like multiple people. And during that time, like people make mistakes. So we have this like theory in our blockchain world that is in mass we trust. We don't trust human, we trust the mass, we trust the system. So blockchain, especially in this finance sector, create a lot of value. That's why the for the recent 2 years, all the 100x, 1000x tokens are like they are all DeFi tokens. So DeFi is the #1 big thing that happening in the recent 2 years in blockchain. The second one is NFT. Now everybody's talking about NFT. They're talking about it only because that one picture, one artwork was sold like millions of dollars. But that is not the most important part, like the hype. NFT, like it solves the copyright issue, and now it's only been implemented in the artwork, but later on it can also be implemented in the music industry, in the movie, like in everything related to the copyright. And also it can also be adapted to the finance sector, like a BL or a packing list could be a non-fungible token. So later on, a BL, you don't need to get the actual BL and go to bank and borrow money. You got this NFT and it's on blockchain. People can see like what's happening, like what's this NFT about. And so it make the circulation of the financial products, financial tools like much easier. So there's so much more about NFT, but people only know about the hype, like one artwork in NFT like being sold for millions of dollars, but that is not important. So later on, it could change the whole, like I will not say change the world, but it will change the way we live, the way we create. Like later on, those musicians, they could create their music just like initially just on blockchain in the form of NFT. And later on, because media is the information, so later on the art industry could be completely different. Before we only have like sculpture, we have oil painting, we have those water painting, but later on we could have a artwork in your house but it's moving and it got background music. So it's a completely new ways of enjoying art. That is the second hot concept in blockchain recently. And the third one is DAO, distributed automatic organizations, which is like most of the blockchain projects we are running on DAO. Like we got our developers in China, we got our like salespeople, like business development in US, and we got our PR agency like in India. So and like everyone is independent, but we can get things done. And people, like one single person don't belong to like a certain organization. Like me, I work in Blockcast, but I'm also helping many of the projects. So it will be a new way of living, a new way of working. And now there are like many DAO projects coming out, like MakerDAO, like people, developers, they meet on Ethereum and they work together. Those developers, they don't know each other before, but they can work perfectly together and create new things, which is great. And maybe the basic concept things we can ask Andy, because he wrote this like a really best-selling book on blockchain.
Well, Andy, the floor is yours. Please give additional input.
I think again, you know, is not the most important thing to learn about blockchain. You know, whether you know it's on a POW or whether it's on a POS, kind of a staking model, a consensus model, or whether it's on a private blockchain or is on the enterprise blockchain. I guess all these terms are fairly meaningless, you know, as we move on in this space. I think what we should understand is that all those things could be the past. You know, those are like the basic 101 kind of blockchain stuff. You know, if we start to talk about those, you know, it seems like we are fairly backwards. But what I would love to say is that we should look at the future. The future would be cross-chain, multiple chain. It could be anyhow mixed together chain. You know, I'm not sure what's going to happen. But the ability to do a cross-chain transaction through multiple protocol would be one of the key. You know, so coming to the point, you know, there's the one company that I give my advice to is called CZZ. The website is CLASSZZ.com. That is one of the few protocol that is fully decentralized, you know, working on a POW model, and it enable real-time cross-chain transactions. And that would also enable multiple chain, multiple protocol, and multiple standards to work together onto one chain. You know, I think such innovations are things that we should look at. You know, it's no longer about whether this is on a private blockchain or on a semi-private blockchain or on a child chain and things like that. All these things are terms, because to me it's just one chain, right? So it doesn't make a difference. You see, JD is agreeing with me. So I think the future is to look at multi-chain, multi-purpose chain, and so forth and so on. I think JD would have something to say, mate.
Well said. Well said. Dr. JD?
I fully agree with you, and also with the priority of creating a platform which is integrating all the other platforms. Because in the early days of blockchain, as blockchain was going to save everything, the first thing I identified is, how are you going to solve the interfaces? And do you really believe that everything is going to be on your particular blockchain? I do not believe that, because that has never happened before. And you will see a very strong demand also to integrate blockchain platforms into non-blockchain platforms. And we have not yet really started to cover those demands, and that is necessary to move forward. Now, with what you described, we're making very good steps in that direction, and I really embrace and enjoy that we left the stage where it is my blockchain and it is finally becoming our blockchain. But there's another part which I really want to underline what Jenny said, and with the example of NFT. NFT is designed to solve copyright conflicts and to make copyrights fair. I made it, it's my copyright. And I decide what I do with that copyright, but first I want to register it. No, somebody else has a much more expensive lawyer, and now suddenly I cannot use my own copyright. That is what we wanted to solve with NFT. We didn't want to create something where people pay 69 million for a token and don't understand what they bought, because they did not buy the art, they just bought the registration of that art. And as long as we have more noise and more podium for those things, and the wonderful information shared by Jenny and Andy and Davy today on this platform are muted or in the background because there is no big money involved, then we're not growing. So let's make sure that we keep sharing these things which matter. And with that, closing my comment, Andy, I'm so happy that you shared that with us today, because this is a very important step forward.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. I think Davy, you could add something about some use cases. You all have given such brilliant use cases and given such insight on this. Davy, could you close this with us?
Yeah, if I can add on to what Dr. JD, Jenny, and Andy has spoken, a little bit off the tandem here, right? You know, right now, there are a lot of wrong connotation is happening right now. As what Andy has alluded earlier, cryptos, there's a lot of hype and a lot of speculative. Everybody looking forward to make a lot of money, 20x, 40x out of cryptocurrency. That's one spectrum. The other spectrum that Jenny has alluded to is a lot of scam, a lot of failure, a lot of scam in the market space, right? So that proved the challenge of what Andy was talking about. We are looking forward to innovation. But the problem is these two speed bumps are holding it back, right? So honestly, in fact, I think we should drop the whole name blockchain. We should now be a subset. We talk about innovation. We can call ourselves fintech blockchain, so that blockchain technology is incorporated to fintech that allows payment, cashless, right? We should have, as what Andy said earlier, AI blockchain. We should have a health science blockchain, a medtech blockchain. Because, and then you rebrand ourselves, then you can see the amount of innovation, how useful blockchain can be used. Like, so we don't call ourselves blockchain anymore. We attach ourselves to a different brand, right? So, and that will maybe change people's mindset. Blockchain is not about speculation, right? Blockchain is about creating innovation and value to the community. Why? Fintech has attracted a lot of investment dollar because they have delivered value to the community, right? So, but blockchain is a good tool to support fintech. So next time when we go to the market, we shouldn't say about blockchain. Blockchain by itself is useless, but fintech blockchain, I can recognize fintech blockchain. There's a value to blockchain. MedTech blockchain, AI blockchain, health science blockchain, right? You know, so I think that get people to talk about, oh, then they realize it's not a hype. There's real practical application to it. So there's a lot of mindset with new technology. There's a bit of training and development and education as well. So I think it's a good way to talk about it. Then we don't, oh, you talk about fintech blockchain. Oh, I know what you're doing. You're moving money using the ledger, right? So I think we have to potentially change the way we talk. It's not about, oh, I make 40 times from holding this NFT. I make so much money, you know, speculating on Bitcoin, right? A lot of conversation going on right now happening today around that space. I just want to share that note. Thank you.
With Jenny's submission and Davy's submission, I'd like to find out from Davy and JD, with regards to blockchain and crypto, can blockchain achieve its true potential if cryptocurrency goes mainstream, or is possible for the blockchain to thrive independently of cryptocurrency? JD, if you can start for us.
Well, I think the first thing we should do is completely separate blockchain from crypto. Even when most, but not all, so the most cryptocurrencies are blockchain based, it is not the only thing that's happening, and it's actually just a smaller set out of it. So if we look at blockchain itself and we start really solving the challenges and we start really using them in an innovative way, there's a lot of pilots, a lot of testing, and we need to get out of that pilot phase and get into the real world. I am convinced that when we do a few important steps, number one is we drop this thought that everything has to be decentralized and everything has to be deregulated. That is a very unrealistic expectation, and that will only lead to government saying, no, thank you. And by being much smarter about it, we can do what the Singapore government, for example, did very early in blockchain and crypto. They didn't say no, they said, okay, and here are the rules. Now Singapore has the opportunity because that's the culture as a government, what they have always tried to establish. Yes, but these are the rules. In bigger countries or more complicated economies with all kinds of different influence factors, it will be more complicated. So if one side, the blockchain and the crypto fence, says no regulation, then the government will say no acceptance. And that is one thing that we should change. The other thing that we should change is the focus from the profit we make short term and much more the innovation that we create long term. And we had, I don't have to repeat all the wonderful things that everyone said today about all those wonderful use cases we can get. And when we start focusing on that, blockchain can be significantly more mainstream and significantly more accepted than any cryptocurrency will ever be. Because let us be very, very honest, we have all heard the term 1%, right? The 1% where the majority of the wealth is. Well, no surprise, that's also where the majority of the cryptocurrency is. So that's not where we should focus on. Innovation is in healthcare, innovation is in creating transparency. Look at supply chains. Look at, I want to drink a cup of coffee today, but I want to make sure that no farmer working on my coffee beans had an unfair job or was paid wrongly or whatever. And with blockchain, we can create that without anyone manipulating that. Those are the things we should focus on. And then actually blockchain is already much closer to mainstream than cryptocurrency is. And I think cryptocurrency will not be there for a long time.
Okay, awesome. Davy, do you have anything to add on blockchain going mainstream?
I totally agree with Dr. JD, right? I think, as I mentioned earlier, you have fintech blockchain, medtech blockchain, you have AI blockchain. So blockchain is going to run ahead independently of how cryptocurrency position itself in the marketplace. There's no question about it. I think blockchain itself is going to run a lot faster, right, ahead of crypto. And the acceptance in the market space is going to happen a lot faster as well, right? So there's no, I totally agree what Dr. JD has spoken about. So, and I think it's going to move. Now the key is, how do we support the ecosystem of investment dollar to develop? I think that is so important. And that is why there's already a lot of investment dollars. Billions of dollars are going to fintech, billions of dollars are going to algo, billions of dollars to AI, medtech, health sciences. I think if you attach blockchain to it, blockchain will receive some money, and over time, blockchain will stand on its own. And that's how I will position it, so that things will happen. So if all of us start to lead the market, or within the community, spread the word around, then right now we focus on all this and bring the investment dollar to do innovation and value item, it will take off, irregardless of how cryptocurrency is performing. Thank you.
Thank you, Davy. So, Andy, you are Intergovernmental Blockchain Advisor, and to Davy as well. I'd like to find out from you too. With Tesla, recently, you know, Tesla adopted Bitcoin. Bank of New York Mellon, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank, and host of other institutional players are accepting cryptocurrencies. Is the digital currency movement well on its way to going mainstream, or there's a long way to go? And if you can start for us.
Sure. I think in this recent bull run, we have seen institutional players and corporations coming in to purchase Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so forth. You know, adding it to their balance sheet. I think this is a very good movement. You know, in general, because you see new money coming in. You've seen new acceptance coming in. Not just the small retail investors. That is also one of the main driving factor that is pushing the market right now. But again, there are two sides of things to this good run. Yeah. So one side of it is that, you know, all those big boys like Tesla, Elon Musk, they openly mentioned that they will buy and buy more. You know, if possible, Grayscale, MicroStrategy, and so forth, they will buy more. I think all those guys are all accounted for. You will see their books in the public. But I know of quite a number of sizable family offices that are actually buying them. I'm not sure what is their mandate and how long they're going to keep them. but I'm also worried that they might dump in due course, right? So I think there are always good things and bad things to what you are seeing right now, but basing on the current market sentiment, I think the good things are a lot better than the bad ones, because I think Master, Visa, PayPal, and so forth, which again more on the fintech side of things are coming into the picture. That would actually give a lot more confidence in the cryptocurrency space. And again, going back to the previous topic, I do not want to separate Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in that manner. But if you look at it from a longer term perspective, the price that we are seeing right now, the price hike that we are seeing right now is actually one of the key driving factor that is driving the whole market. People got to know about cryptocurrency and blockchain because of the price increase you see on Bitcoin. So there's a cycle that is going around the market right now. So I see a lot of good things happening. I see a lot of governments also coming in to look at bringing crypto onto their balance sheet. I can't say who right now at this moment, but there are already folks that are planning to do that as part of their wealth management or part of their strategy moving forward.
Okay, so Davy, you're gonna come in, but I want Jenny to come in. I think she has something to add.
It's about the previous question.
Yeah,
like
go
I
ahead.
totally agree with what Dr. JD mentioned about like the blockchain and cryptocurrency is like completely different two things. Of course, like cryptocurrency is on blockchain, but like maybe like in 5 years we no longer will have this blockchain conference anymore. It will be like into our life is infrastructure, just like the internet. Nobody will like even feel that we are using it, but we are using it. And also like Davy mentioned that there will be like supply chain blockchain, like fintech blockchain, which is like I totally agree on that, because like later on it will just be fintech but using blockchain, because now people will not say that I'm using internet finance. No, they will just say it's fintech. So blockchain will become like part of our infrastructure that you cannot even feel it, but it is there, just like air we are breathing, but we don't know it is there. Just like the Wi-Fi signal is there, but we don't know it's there. That is one thing. And the other is about blockchain is just a tool. It's not that big deal. It's just a tool. Like if a rubbish add blockchain is still rubbish. Like a scam adding blockchain is still a scam. A good intention like fintech is a good thing. Adding blockchain, it can still be good. So I see a lot of hype in the traditional stock market. I can see a Chinese listed company. They add their blockchain into their objectives, so their price skyrocketed. But actually, they're not using blockchain at all. They're still a dying company. Just like they're just using this hype. So I also want the general public to know, like blockchain is just a tool. Like it's not like it will change the world. It depends on the people who use that tool. Rubbish in, rubbish out. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Perfect.